Gucci, so today Fendi, so
it's hot. Hey, it's Nikki Jensen.
And Brie Piccone.
And we're
Late to the Party.
A weekly podcast about film, fashion, and pop culture from two best friends mentally totally bugging in 1995.
Yeah. Just rolling with the homies.
Rolling with the homies. Yeah, well, today we are talking about Clueless, which is a seminal film for me, but also like maybe the most influential fashion film of the last 25 years.
Right. I didn't realize how influential this film was. Probably because we've just lived it. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
like the trends it set. I'm mind blown.
Still to this day, we, you know, in pop culture, it's always referenced. Clueless is it's a timeless movie of sorts. I know it's based on Emma by Jane Austen.
That's also wild because that's like a really old book, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just like, who thought of it? Like, this is great.
Like 1800s. But yeah, I mean, there's been other, you know, remakes of Emma or iterations of Emma, like Emma with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh.
And
I know that's why it's messing up the vibe.
it heard me say totally bugging.
It's totally bugging.
It was like, say less. Buzz. Oh, but yeah, no, I mean, I feel like in the 90s, it was like the thing to do. Do you remember all of the like adaptations of older work anyways?
Mm-hmm.
Like Gwyneth Paltrow and Emma and Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one.
Yeah.
But also like the random like Mel Gibson Hamlet. But that's the 80s.
Was
but
there Pride and Prejudice? Was that like...
I was like 05. But then they had like Sense and Sensibility, the Ang Lee one with Emma Thompson.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So like in the 90s, we were really into that. But also like 10 Things I Hate About You is based on Shakespeare.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's based on not Hamlet, not Othello. Which one? It's based on a Shakespeare. It's based on a Shakespeare. Like I didn't like study this for 4 years in school.
You're so clueless.
I know.
Just like me.
It's like, of course I can reference the movies, but not the 10 Things I Hate About You. Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, okay.
Not my favorite Shakespeare, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm like, who? Shrew?
Yeah.
So anyways.
When I hear the word shrew, I'm like, ew. You know?
It makes me, it's like when Christian in Clueless goes, Hagsville, about Amber. That's how I feel like shrew.
Hagsville. That's iconic. He's an interesting character. Anyway.
Every main character and side character in this, the most interesting. Like, I just want to hang out with all of these people.
Yeah.
Except Elton.
Elton seems, yeah.
But he likes the cranberries, and I like the cranberries, so maybe
That's
we could
true.
vibe.
I love how concerned he is about his cranberries tape or CD. He's like, oh my gosh, I think I left it out on the quad or wherever. And it's like, no, you can't get it. He's like,
He doesn't let it go. Like, even like in the beginning of the film, he's talking about the cranberries CD, and then when they're after the party, he's still talking about the cranberries CD.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you?
I would.
It's precious merchandise.
CDs were a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is so interesting to me because, you know, I just grew up with this movie being on TV or being around. Like, do you remember the TV show Clueless? Which it had everyone, even directed by Amy Heckerling, at least for the first episode. It was like just a proper TV show. So as a kid, I was so confused because I think I saw the TV show before I saw the movie.
Didn't it have the same cast except for Alicia Silverstone?
Mm-hmm.
Which is confusing, but well, I mean, it was good that I feel like we've talked about this.
It was good, and it had a really great theme song.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Is it like upbeat? Is it like...
Oh, it was so good.
It wasn't We're the Kids in America?
No, but we must talk about that because that's This is like the perfect intro to a movie, I think. Like a teen movie is Clueless. But anyways.
Ooh. This is really fun. Who sings this song? Is this like a real... Did they make it just for this show? Or is it like...
I think so. Oh, Danny Hidayat is not Mel. He's so good in every movie, though. We've talked about him before.
Mm-hmm.
It's by someone named China Forbes. Oh. Ordinary Girl, in parentheses, the Clueless theme.
Wow. She's just an ordinary girl. I mean, I feel like Cher is relatable, though, in a lot of ways.
I've definitely been called Cher in my life.
Yeah.
I don't
Cher or Cher?
Whoa. I wish. But no, they're, I think Cher is such an interesting, I know she's based on Emma, but
I know I read the synopsis and like the character description of Emma and how she's like kind of rich, kind of like hasn't had a lot of hardships, is bratty and isn't the best matchmaker or something, but tries to.
She tries. I think Cher Horowitz has such a character arc. Like, I think she's a good person deep down, and she means well.
She does.
She's like adorably clueless.
Yeah. I love that about her.
I love that too. I love how judgy she is. I love how she thinks everyone else is clueless and she needs to save everyone else, but really she needed to look deep down within herself. Love that. So anyways, after this, I'm going to go down to Pismo Beach and I'm going to donate my dad's skis.
Nice. You're changing the world.
Yes.
I mean, hey, people need their skis.
I truly think Cher Horowitz did change the world one yellow plaid Dolce & Gabbana suit at a time. Because this movie's fashion, like costume designed by Mona May, literally is what we wear now.
Right. Yeah, do we just want to get into the costumes of it all, or
let's do that right at the top, because I think fashion.
How can you not?
Yeah. Well, Cher and Dionne are fashion girlies, and it really informs the movie anyways. But what were your thoughts on fashion?
Okay, I feel like just in the very beginning, like their first day of school look is so iconic. Like Cher and Dionne's, both of their looks like complement each other so well, and just it makes me want to wear plaid so badly. But also just I didn't realize this movie was going against the grain like at the time, because everyone was into grunge so much. And I guess that line where she's like, all these boys with their baggy pants, like, there was that scene of those boys lined up and they're like, it looks like no fashion sense.
When she's like, I don't mean to be a traitor to my generation.
Yeah. I think that was just it all makes sense, with what is it Amy Heckler? Is that her name?
Amy Heckerling.
Heckler. Yeah.
She was heckling.
She was heckling.
She was heckling the grunge movement for sure.
Yeah, she was, literally.
I mean, this movie did change the course of 90s fashion for sure, because so Mona May said about that, she said that when we were scouting on high schools to film, it was Kurt Cobain, it was Nirvana, girls were looking like boys, it was baggy shirts, baggy pants. And then she collaborated closely with Amy Heckerling, and Mona May created a look that was inspired by the idea of teenage girls with like their daddy's credit card, unlimited amount of money, shopping. Like, what would they wear?
That makes total sense, because there's so many like designer name drops, and I don't know, I feel like this movie really does inform you a lot. Like, also as like a young girl watching, she's kind of like I don't know, like just like this movie's like a gateway, I think, into fashion.
This was the first time I heard of Alaya.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure I knew Dolce & Gabbana, but still. Also, slip dresses. Apparently, because you know how she wears her Calvin Klein slip dress?
Mm-hmm. Which is really Anna Sui, but...
Yeah. Apparently it became like a fashion staple. I don't know. It blows my mind that this movie has, I feel like it doesn't get enough credit. Like, I think we all think about Clueless and we remember the outfits and stuff, but we don't think about the impact.
Well, in 2023, slip dresses have made the biggest comeback, and I feel like everyone is trying to look like Cher Horowitz on the steps.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, before we get too into
I know, I don't know.
I feel like we need to do some table setting.
Yeah, maybe.
Just before we...
I know, I'm like so ready to get into the weeds.
I know. I feel like this is one of those movies. It's like the perfect sleepover movie, the perfect I'm sick and I need to have a comfort movie. Or I've seen this movie so many times by accident. Like last time I went to get my hair done at Dry Bar, it was on. And I was like, don't talk to me, lady. I gotta watch Clueless for the 100th time.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I've seen this movie a lot, but every time it's on, it has me.
It is perfect. Amy Heckerling wrote and directed the crap out of this movie, to be honest. Like, she created something that is such a satirical thing, but it's also self-aware. It's just cool. It's still cool 20, almost 30 years later. Like, this movie doesn't feel like a timepiece.
No.
In a way. But it is very topical. I mean, the intro is talks about a Noxzema commercial, which I don't even know what they're referencing. Like, I had to look it up. Not to flex that I'm young again, but
was it skincare, right?
Yeah, and I guess there was a Rebecca Gayheart Noxzema commercial that was really big in the early 90s. Or the mid-early 90s.
I think I remember it.
I remember looking that up, I think, for when we did Jawbreaker. Because that was her, Rebecca Gayheart's what she was most known for.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't remember 90s commercials like the Noxzema ones. But I think doing the research, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. I feel like this movie from the top is already, you're in for a fun time because Cher's narrating and she's already saying a bunch of witty kind of, it's sarcastic, but she is clueless at the same time. It's hard to describe because it is is it satirical? I don't know the right word. It's
yeah,
kind of is.
It definitely is because in some places they definitely play into they're Californians or Valley Girl accents.
Yes.
But it doesn't overshadow the plot and the story of the movie at all.
Yeah.
It's not just surface level. It's not just Kristen Wiig being oh my God the whole time.
Yeah. It's a good balance. Yeah.
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 Sorry, I'm on drugs.
Are you really?
No, I just, all those antibiotics. Did we talk about the plot?
No, we haven't gotten to the plot yet. How strong are those drugs?
No, I feel like we got into it so much and it's hard to wrangle it.
Hey, this is our show. We can do whatever we want.
True.
We can set our tables. We can move the placemats.
Yeah, we're gonna bring you to the entree and then reverse it and we're gonna have appetizers.
Yeah. Sometimes we might even put dessert first.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I feel like we went straight to entrees and desserts, but now we have to go back to appetizers.
Oh, yeah. True.
We have to get our lettuce wraps.
That's right.
Maybe let's rewind.
Okay.
A little bit. Before we get into the nitty-gritty. So, Brie, what is the plot of Clueless?
Okay. Do you want me to read the plot or give you my...
What is yours?
I don't know. A rich young lady who is pretty clueless but has a good heart. It's just living her life. And we join her on her day-to-day. And she falls in love with her ex-brother?
Hot.
Half-brother? I don't know. It's not
really. Stepbrother. They're not
That's
related.
The word. Yes. Stepbrother. I'm sorry. They're not related. That's probably the best part, I think. I don't know. It gets me every time. It's so funny.
That they're not related? Or
no, that they, develop a romance. Just in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just... when she freaks out, when she starts catching feelings, and she's like, why am I, wigged out by this?
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Paul Rudd. Anytime I get to see Paul Rudd, I'm, down.
Right?
But no, the plot centers on a beautiful, popular, rich high school student who befriends a new student and decides to give her a makeover while playing matchmaker for her teachers and examining her own existence.
They make it sound really deep, but also playing matchmaker for the teachers, like, yes, that does happen, but why is that such a big... Why is that in the plot and not falls in love with
Her brother.
stepbrother?
Well,
Maybe they thought that would turn people off.
Yeah, I think that is a red flag. I think you have to just, like, surprise people with that. Like, bake that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, we are talking about Clueless. What is your relationship with this movie? Like, I grew up with it around.
Right.
But what was your...
I also grew up with it around. I mean, I don't remember... Like, it came out so early in my life. You know, I was like a baby.
Same.
We both were babies. So, I don't know. Like, I don't remember the first time watching it because I just remember it being around, like, on TV and stuff. I remember we watched it together a lot. Sometimes on TV. Did you ever have a VHS of it or anything?
I did not, but I feel like I've always seen this movie poster. The David LaChapelle, just like of them on the staircase with like the cell phones. It's so iconic for one, but I just remember seeing that everywhere. And it also just being a thing where it was like, yeah, when you become a preteen or a teen, you're gonna like watch Clueless. Mm-hmm. It's just a thing. It's like an initiation. Like if you hit 10 years old, you're gonna like watch Clueless.
You're gonna watch Clueless. You're gonna be Clueless.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have like matching plaid suits with your bestie.
It just happens. Like as soon as you become a tween, like all of a sudden you're like, what's going on with me? And like you just turn into Cher Horowitz and Dionne.
Yeah.
Now, Alicia Silverstone is Cher. Mm. What are your thoughts on that? Because this is... Her debut was in The Crush, but that was a way smaller movie. I feel like this is her, like, proper first movie in a lot of ways. This is, like, how the world got introduced to her. Besides being in the Aerosmith music videos. I feel like that and then Cher really cemented it.
I think she's perfect in this movie. Like, she plays it so well. Like, she really does seem like, I don't know, like, kind of like a dumb blonde sometimes, but also, like, smart. And what, like, she's not just like this flat character. Like, you know how, like, we were talking about Kristen Wiig, like, just like being like a Californian. Like, she's so much more than that. She's, I don't know, her facial expressions are so funny to me. Like, I feel like Alicia Silverstone has a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of humor. And the way she plays her character, like, some of it's really subtle and it works really well. Just, I don't know, her expressions get me. Like when she's like, you know, just making faces.
There is definitely something she does with her mouth that is very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but it's funny. Or like her reactions to things. Like she knows how to react, you know?
I like her a lot. I think it's also cool how she's basically plucked from this one small movie and the Aerosmith music videos to just lead a film. And it's cool. And she's cool. And I can imagine at that time thinking she was infinitely cooler. But I do remember those Aerosmith music videos because Liv Tyler, I used to be a big Liv Tyler stan.
Oh, right. Was she in the music videos too then? Because that would make total sense.
Also creepy.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor
that's
there.
Besides the point, no.
There is a lot of like weird, like Clueless adjacent things. Like if we're talking about the Alicia Silverstone's career and then we talk about the Aerosmith music videos and it's like Liv Tyler, you know, and like what the Crazy music video, basically being a stripper and like making out with Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, something about that seems wrong.
Yeah, and because like Steven Tyler's her dad, even though he didn't raise her. And then this movie, you have like the Paul Rudd stepbrother storyline. There's like a lot of towing the line, but like I'm okay with it. Like it's okay to be a little problematic as long as you're not full on.
Right.
Is what I believe.
Yeah,
like the only offensive thing I think in Clueless is when, is it Cher? She does say the R word. And I was like, whoa now.
Oh, yeah. That's so wild though, that the R word at a time was really a thing. Like, people used it without thinking.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, it's wild.
They're ready to drop it.
The Black Eyed Peas literally.
But it's crazy too, because do you remember like that song when it first like started to pop off and it was Let's Get.
See, I remember only hearing Let's Get It Started, and like years later I found out it was like different in the original version, and I was like, wait, what?
I remember it. I remember it's clear. I can't remember Clueless. I obviously can't remember 1995 because I was a baby.
Right.
But I can remember when the Black Eyed Peas took on Fergie, they had Let's Get, and real quick they pulled it and it was Let's Get It Started. It like happened like very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day it was that one and then it was Get It Started. They changed the tides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think it wasn't because we cared about mentally disabled people. It was
all of a sudden we cared.
It was really about the Black Eyed Peas when we were like, hey, you can't say that enough. Cher Horowitz can drop. We can say it in our everyday life, but you can't have a song.
You can't have a song about it.
It's Let's Get It Started.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
And that's why we don't say the R word anymore.
No. That's going to be in the history books. Yeah.
I feel like that's very Cher.
It is. I'm like, woo! I love how all of her classmates always like hype her up after her. I think she actually makes some good points. Like, okay, yes, her arguments aren't always researched, but like, I think also too because her father's a lawyer, which I love the actor that plays her dad, like
Danny Hedaya, who's the guy, Richard Nixon in Dig.
Exactly, but every single character he plays is kind of the same. And I love it. I don't know.
Would you just love him to just tell you no? You can't sit here.
That I was like, because when you watch a movie you haven't seen in like years, you forget about all the little things, especially if you've just been watching it like casually. And I feel like when we like on this podcast, I have more of a critical eye. I tend to like hone in on things that I haven't noticed, and I don't remember that. And it's funny because she's like inviting Ty over for the first time for dinner. She's like, Daddy, meet my friend. And he's like, get out of my chair. It's just like, whoa now.
I feel like Dan Hedaya, like I've known so many people that are just like him in my life.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to just see that representation on screen. Just the way he does it. It's always a welcome. Yeah. We need to bring him back.
Right?
Where is he now? What is he doing?
Oh, no. Telling people to get out of his chair.
Always. He needs to tell us.
Yeah.
Let's bring him on. That manifest a guest. No one else, just him.
That'd be wild. I mean, he has done a lot of movies. Like, I feel like he's been in so many movies. Just
so many movies we've talked about specifically.
Yeah.
We're just the Dan Hedaya hive.
Yeah.
Else? But yeah, Amy Heckerling, who directed this movie, directed Fast Times at Ridgemont High as well, which is a very seminal movie for a lot of Gen Xers.
Isn't that an 80s movie, right? I think I've seen that movie.
It's the movie where Phoebe Cates comes out of the pool with the red bikini and like that's referenced in Stacy's Mom, the Fountain of Wayne music video,
Oh yeah, I know Stacy's Mom.
Yeah. I love
She's got it going on.
I think maybe why Clueless resonates with me personally so much is because, we do a podcast and we talk a lot about nostalgic things, but sometimes we are kind of like Cher Horowitz and we don't know what we're talking about because like we weren't really cognizant in 1995, so we can only like pontificate.
Yeah.
So we're like
pontificate.
But we're like not spitting facts. We're just like using other references. Like we obviously like can't be nostalgic about Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but we can definitely be like, oh, but I know Stacy's Mom is what they were referencing. And I feel like Clueless is a bunch of that for 90s people.
It is.
And now, we're just trying to continue the legacy.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of this movie is like in the beginning when Cher and Dionne are like, when we get introduced to Dionne, she's like, that's my best friend. And she's like, you know, mostly she's like, because we both know what it's like for people to feel jealous of us. And then she says, and we're both named after great singers of the past that now do infomercials. I don't know. Just speaking of reference, it's just like funny to me. Like, I don't know.
No, I love that line so much. And I love the intro to Dionne just in general. But yeah, it's also wild to think that even then, like you're talking about like a reference of a reference, like a couple years before Clueless, Dionne Warwick and Cher would have probably meant something else in the line about doing infomercials. Because I guess this is the time before Cher's Believe comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that's so weird to me to think about because I'm like, what? Cher doing infomercials? They're never.
But she did those workout videos.
Yeah.
You know, those iconic.
Love that.
Yeah.
Multifaceted queen.
But see, now if we did Clueless, it would be Dionne Warwick and Cher are known for their crazy tweets.
Yes. Oh my God. Dionne Warwick is hilarious. Did you see... Oh my gosh, what was it that she tweeted? I had saved her tweets.
They're so good.
Yeah, she has so many like really funny tweets. If you're like bored, just, I don't know, go check out her Twitter.
Or maybe like a combo of like Dionne Warwick and Cher's tweets.
Yeah.
Put them side by side.
Yeah, I know Cher can really go. I love when she uses all caps.
I love when she like responds to people about her like insane wackadoodle tweets and she's like, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, fair point. Yeah, we do know what you mean, Cher.
Yeah, she's like, hey, don't read into this. Anyway, manifest, get her on the phone.
Yeah. And have that intro scene so good. What? Like, I feel like we're really set up for greatness in this movie because the intro is right away Kids in America.
Yes.
And then it's Cher and Dionne and all of her friends in like a montage style, like Noxzema commercial style. And we get right out of the bat like the outfit selector.
Yes, the outfit selector is so cool.
Which I thought was going to be a big thing. Like growing up, I literally thought in 2023 we would be able to just choose our outfits on the computer.
We've been fooled. Like, we've been bamboozled.
That's the real technology I want to see, not AI.
Yeah. Okay, so we have AI, and I know that they can do stuff like that, but it's still, like, you know how there's, like, filters, or, like, I think there are some, like, online, like, clothing websites where you can buy things and try them on or something, but that's not the same as having your whole closet just, you know, like having, I don't know, it just looks cool. And like, it's like the same technology in like Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
You know, just how, if they make it look so easy.
Like if only you had, well, basically Cher has a closet like the Hannah Montana closet.
Yes.
And from her clunky Windows 95, she can just simply just choose whatever, but it will also tell her if it's mismatched.
Yes.
Why don't we have that?
I don't know. Yeah, because then you don't have to waste time trying everything on.
You can, you have your, like, what was it, Kid Pics version of yourself.
Yeah.
And just paste on clothes like you're a paper doll.
Like you're a paper doll. Yeah, that's such a fun concept. I mean, I guess you'd have to, like, take a picture of every... I saw someone, like someone created their own book, like flip book like that, which is really cool. Did you like see that? I don't know. It was all over TikTok.
I have seen that one Sophia Nygaard video where she uses like a beta app that's kind of like this.
Oh yeah. I think I saw that too.
It doesn't,
it's not
like,
the same.
Yeah, and they definitely didn't match things correctly.
No.
Like why can we have Chat GPT but not an app that can tell if our clothes are mismatched or not?
Yes. Why?
That's
the injustice.
That's misuse of technology, I think.
No, I agree. It makes zero sense. Like, there's so many things we can do, but not.
Yeah. But it has come to my attention, Brie. So I saw Barbie again last night.
Yeah?
With my fiance, and he, halfway through the movie, pointed out, he was like, Nikki, you act like Barbie. Like, you act like stereotypical Barbie.
You wake up in the morning and float down from your house.
And like, I have been called a Cher in my time, and maybe I'm just vapid. And maybe I know we joked about this before, but maybe I do need to just donate a lot to the Pismo Beach Relief Fund and like look inward.
It's been on your mind?
You know, no, it's just like in the last 24 hours and now talking about it, I'm like, maybe my priorities aren't right. Maybe that's why we haven't been given an outfit selector, is because that's for like the vapid bitches. Maybe
that's not what we should use technology for.
Maybe everyone in 2023 is right, and we really just need to eliminate the humans and have Chat GPT write all of our scripts and act.
Okay, now you're scaring me.
And yeah, maybe.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you working for the robots?
Maybe. Now I'm existential crisis Barbie.
You just like lay on the floor and give up. You're like, just leave me here.
I don't know. I really do think if we use technology for vapid reasons, like an outfit selector, it's gonna. No, I think it'd be better.
It would improve our lives.
If we had, instead of like Chat GPT, if we had an outfit selector.
Yeah, like I get the concept of like using technology to make your life more efficient. I just don't get it for using your brain, like, you know, like,
yeah,
like writing scripts or like there's some things where it just seems lazy, or even like artwork, and but I don't know. I just can't. I can't with AI.
It weirds me out. But maybe if Mark Zuckerberg was more focused on picking out his outfits in the outfit selector, and less on like trying to ruin everything with the metaverse.
Yeah. Who cares? No one cares. No one cares about the metaverse. No one's gonna live in the metaverse. No one wants emoticons or like little like avatars that look like emojis or whatever. I mean, nobody wants that.
Yeah. Okay. Side note: Mark Zuckerberg. You know who he looks like?
Who?
Do you remember the Miis on Wii?
Yes, the Miis.
He looks like a Mii.
No one. That was the like. Okay, Miis are hilarious and cute and funny, especially on the Wii console, because they have little personalities and they'll be like, ah! You know, they have like,
yeah, but they look like bowling pins.
They do, but I just don't understand. I feel like there's like this push or this like they want people to be on board so badly, but like Second Life is over. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I am whatever those online platforms, the virtual reality, like. Why can't we just live in reality until the world is burned all the way, and then we create like a virtual reality, you know?
Well, the world is boiling. So anyways, Clueless.
Anyway. I'm just not ready to be in the Matrix just yet, you know?
Not yet. Not when we have, I don't know, Paul Rudd to exist.
Exactly.
Speaking of Paul Rudd, so very early on we meet Josh.
We do.
Who looks like, this is what I actually remember boys looking like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just with his, like, was it an Amnesty International shirt? And over it was like a gray plaid. He just looks like the 90s dude.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my intro to Paul Rudd.
Same. Yeah.
Before
Ant-Man.
Yeah, but then the world never was the same.
Yeah.
Are you, like, what are your thoughts on Paul Rudd? Because so many people love him. He's, like, beloved at this point.
He's very likable, and he's cute. I don't know. I like him.
I really like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I've always liked Paul Rudd. I also really love when Paul Rudd does a comedy. Like, I Love You Man is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I feel safe when Paul Rudd's around. You know what I mean?
Same.
Like, I don't feel threatened by Paul Rudd.
No, he's, like, perfect to me.
Yeah.
He's just... I agree. Like, I feel very safe.
Yeah.
The world can't burn because Paul Rudd's here.
In it. Yeah.
Maybe that's how Cher feels when Josh comes to town. But right out of the bat, Cher roasts him and, like, reads him for filth. She's like, what does she say about the brisk Seattle weather of what he's wearing?
I love their dynamic. Just... the way they kind of go back and forth, and he's like irritated with her sometimes and she's like annoyed with him, but
they kind of like see through the facade because he's basically like, okay, Malibu Barbie, and she's like, okay, like Kurt Cobain wannabe.
right, and she's like ragging on him about the music he listens to and how it's like moody and depressing.
Which I feel Josh so hard because right out of the gate, like the first song he's listening to is Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead, which is such a vibe.
Yes, I love how they also are like, what is it with like college kids and their existential crisis and this moody music? She's like, ew, like as if. And then I'm thinking like when I went to college, like both of us, like we listened to the most moody, like indie kind of music. And it's just, I'm pretty sure Radiohead was part of that mix.
Oh, for me, for sure.
And I'm like, is that just like a thing like that just surpasses like, or that just all generations experience when they're in college? Like everyone goes through that kind of phase. Is that like a thing? Because I don't know.
I feel like yes, but I also feel like there is something about like a character like Josh where I think even now he would be like the typical Gen Xer who hasn't let it go. Like something is still like you walk into his house and there's still like this one like Radiohead poster. So that's me.
You have the Radiohead poster in your
like,
living room.
I do, because I can't get rid of it. It's like a part of OK Computer is an important album for me. I can't keep saying seminal. That's
everything is seminal.
It's gross. Keep that to yourself.
You're simultaneously Cher and Josh.
Yeah, just like rolled into one. I love when he's at the pool and he is like, he's reading Nietzsche at the pool with the full like goatee.
The goatee, yes.
Dressed like he's not at the pool. Like you can get no sun. Like it's just like a full outfit. It's a mood.
It is a mood.
Some days you're Josh, some days you're Cher.
Exactly. I love the scene too where they're like she had called him because she was at that party and then she had to leave because Elton is like,
they play Suck and Blow.
Yeah.
And
which like, what, is that a real game?
No, apparently too, the actors couldn't, because in this fictitious game Suck and Blow, you suck on a credit card and pass it, telephone style, but the actors couldn't do it. So they had to like, I forget what they used, but yeah. They cheated.
That's not fair. I'm sure there's a lot of people that tried that and were like, man, just accidentally kissing people.
I know, there's some kissing people in like a telephone line at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kisses her instead of sucking on the credit card.
And then he's like, I've got feelings for you. And she's like, get away from me. And then she gets like stuck up at are they at a gas station or some random...
Isn't it the Stars Born gas station?
Is it?
I believe so.
It had like a circus clown up there.
Yeah.
Which is
that the Stars Born one? It looks very similar.
Maybe
not. I don't know. I don't know anything about LA.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Or what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say he picks her up, but he's on a date, right?
Mm-hmm. With the girl. It's the Hamlet scene.
Yes, the Hamlet scene. And I love how like in the backseat, like Cher chimes in, she's like, no, that wasn't Hamlet or whatever. She's like, I remember Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Speaking of references.
Relatable.
But she was right, and it's just funny because then Paul or Josh, he's like, haha, she gotcha, but she's a multidimensional character.
She is. You gotta get you a girl who can do both,
right?
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about the party scene then? I know.
Yes.
So some things happen before this,
right?
If we're gonna do it,
there's so much that happens in this movie. I mean,
yeah. Well, in chronological order, we meet Josh first, and it's established that they're not related.
Right. They want you to remember that.
Yes, they are not related. Dan Hedaya and Paul Rudd's character's mom were married for like a short time, but you don't divorce family.
Yeah.
which is very beautiful.
I love that. Yeah.
I love how we just have like a weird hive now too, just on a side note of like the character actors.
Dan Hedaya.
Yeah, we're in the Dan Hedaya hive. Gucci for Tucci. We're in the Jim Broadbent.
Jim Broadbent.
Fan club.
Rise up.
Rise. But they gotta, get their flowers somehow.
Right?
If it's from little old us, that's
Oh
fine.
my god, we should create one of those like TikToks. Like the ones, have you seen those? I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's like there's like these like mood boards that are based on like one character. There's one based on all the soprano like daddies or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I love that. I also love Michael Imperioli. We've never gotten a chance to talk about him though, but I just want to put it out there.
Now's the chance. But you know what I mean? Like just have a whole like the outfits. It's like, which one are you? Like, I don't know. I think
That's
Jim
awesome.
Broadbent.
Oh my gosh. Stanley Tucci. Oh, Dan Hedaya.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, food for thought.
I'm into it. I'm so into it. Oh, but speaking of another character actor, man, Wallace Shawn.
Is that the teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall, yeah.
From every single movie of our childhood and Sex and the City.
Yes. He's always playing these kind of like roles. Like he's just irritated. Like,
but he just needs to fall in love.
yeah.
Is basically the gist. Like even in Sex and the City.
Yes.
Because he ends up with Candace Bergen.
Yeah. They're cute. And in this movie, I think him and what's her name? Miss
Geist.
They're cute.
Very cute. And I love Cher. The plan is a little psychotic, but I love it. And I feel like at one point this would have been very relatable.
Yeah.
But she's negotiating her grades.
I love this energy.
And so her plan is to play matchmaker for Mr. Hall and Mrs. Geist.
Mm-hmm.
And her idea is that her dad accidentally packed coffee, or she took her dad's coffee.
This was smart.
It is, but she like gives it to Mr. Hall and it's like, maybe you can share it with Miss Geist. She thinks you're great.
Yeah.
I love
it. I think this is a genius plan. It actually works. We've seen so many, like I know she tries to matchmake like Ty and Elton and that doesn't really work, but this seeing like Mr. Hall and Miss Geist get together, like it's genius because it's so subtle.
Super cute.
She's like, oh, what am I gonna do with this coffee? I don't know.
Have you ever done
Matchmaking?
Yeah, like or like a either matchmaking or just like a crazy plot to, like get your grades renegotiated or something. Have you ever done that?
I've never really matchmade, but I don't think I've done anything crazy either. But I have negotiated. I've tried, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh no, like the dog ate my homework. What am I going to do? Like there's been times where I've had to fudge it, or maybe something really did happen, but I'm like, oh, can I get another chance? And then I just do an extra credit. So like nothing crazy, nothing like worth, nothing like is fun,
I've definitely tried.
Most times it doesn't work. Like some teachers are really like, I remember going through some really, really tough times and then but see, a lot of times I just wouldn't even let teachers know. So that's probably,
You're just playing by the rules.
I guess. Yeah. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like,
I don't know. I feel like I've pulled a share with like renegotiating grades before, like back in high school. But I feel like every time I do something like that, I black out. Like I get this like wave of confidence, or maybe like / like psycho crazy person behavior, and then I just like black out and I like get what I want, and then I'm like, well, okay, I'm back to normal.
You're like, I don't know who that was.
Yeah, who's that? I have tried to like matchmake people, and that's never worked. I don't think you can do that. Or if you're anything like the both of us, I think the idea of being told who you should like, it just that's the ick right there.
That's the ick.
If someone's like, you should like them,
you're like, you know what? No.
it's kind of like Ty.
Yeah, exactly. Because she's like, no, she's already like feeling it for. Is it Tyler? Is that a
Travis Birkenstock, played by Breckenmeyer.
Travis Birkenstock. Love it.
My hero.
Love that name.
I love him. But yeah, so we meet Ty Frazier, played by Brittany Murphy.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
She's such a baby in this, and I love it.
I know. This is even pre-Girl Interrupted.
I was gonna say, is this her breakout role?
I don't know. I mean, I know she did stuff as a kid, too, but I don't know. Brittany Murphy, for me, like, my knowledge of her is kind of like in reverse, because I don't think I really was aware of her until Uptown Girls, and then I backtracked.
Yeah.
But we're introduced to Ty on the tennis court.
The new girl in school.
Yes. Which, can we talk about the outfits?
Yes. Ty's very grunge, by the way.
So grunge. Apparently, this is how actual kids dressed in 1994, 1995.
Which is a vibe, I think. I think you need both.
For sure. I love the unspoken rule, like the uniforms. Because, like, this school doesn't have uniforms, but they're all in black and white, except Amber, who has a little bit of red.
Red, yeah.
She looks like a Soviet. Like, she looks like a little bit like she's on Glow.
Yeah, like she's one of the characters on Glow.
Yeah, like the Soviet villain of, like, the women's wrestling with her, like, star.
She does give some villain vibes.
For sure.
She's very, like, cold and expressionless.
Yes. But Cher has the cute little tee and then a tank top over it.
I do love that. I do remember that being a trend as well. Like, as a kid, like the tank top over the shirts.
It's making a comeback.
I saw that. I mean, it's cute. I mean, it's a little unnecessary, but it's cute.
I love it. I do think it does, when it's black and white, it kind of reads waitress. But I think you can make that work. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Ty comes to town and Cher is convinced that they need to take her under her wing. And I love how Dionne's like, that girl's toe up.
Yeah, she says, I don't want to be associated with her.
Like their stock will plummet.
Yeah, I do love when she says that.
Which,
it doesn't, though.
It doesn't, because, Cher is white savior Barbie in this moment and, like, just takes her under and gives her a makeover. And so we get a makeover scene.
I do love, yeah, that's really fun. They wash out all of her hair dye, and she has like a corduroy skirt and then like the shirt that matches with the heart on it.
The Pretties.
Yeah.
The Pretties shirt.
It's cute.
Very 90s, very of that moment.
Yeah. I'd wear that today.
Adjacent. I would too. I feel like that's an outfit that I wear in the fall all the time.
I think I have that like literal skirt.
I love too, like, she's working out with Cher.
Oh yeah.
And basically she's like over it really quick and she goes to sit down and like the Mentos commercial comes on and she's just like singing along to it.
There's so many like little moments like that in this movie that just make me bust out laughing because they're so unexpected. But it's a nice touch. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to add this little fun flair, but they do.
Yeah.
And I love the Mentos commercial.
I do too. I love Brittany Murphy's voice. I love when we can get to hear it a little bit. Like her like lovely singing voice.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it's crazy too. Like, right from the jump, Ty is like so into Travis Birkenstock.
She's like all about the weed too.
Yes. Oh my God. In that scene where, like, in the pee scene when all the girls are like, I basically can't have balls flying around my nose because I'm like just had a nose job or, whatever my tennis instructor says I can't.
Yeah.
And Ty comes in and is like, you guys have Coke here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like, yeah, because I think she said she wants something herbal.
Oh yeah.
And then Dionne's like, we can get you some tea. Like, we don't have this, but we might have some tea, whatever. And then I think Cher was like, we have Coke. And she's like, what? Y'all got Coke? Like, she's like, whoa.
Oh, wild. Ty is so experienced, and Cher just is actually not. Like, Cher appears to be so much older than she is, but she's so not. And I think in contrast with Ty, it's so interesting.
It's hilarious. And I love how she gives her advice because she's like, how old are you? And she's like, well, I'm going to be 16 in May. And she's like, well, my birthday's in April.
As someone older than you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love it. It's
so good.
It's really funny.
And then we get the party scene.
Yeah.
Because Cher has successfully match made Wallace Shawn and Mrs. Geist.
Right.
So she really is on a high. And she thinks up Ty and Elton. So yeah, I already forget about him.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Elton.
No, he ends up being really annoying. I could see the appeal though, like from the outside. But you know, in Cher's defense, Elton does put up a picture of Ty in his locker, so it is a little confusing. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess it's because Cher was the one that took the picture, but still, you know, if you put up someone's pic. Also, what is up with like pictures in lockers? Do people do that?
I don't know.
Still, like, is that like a thing?
Even when we were in school, I feel like that was already passe.
I maybe put like magazine, like something fun, like
I don't
fashion?
remember even
I don't know.
doing that. I remember like lockers not being
Stickers.
a staple.
Yeah.
Like I remember thinking because of media, like when I'm going to get in high school, lockers are going to be a big deal. And when I got to high school, it was like no one did anything with their lockers. You just put books in them.
What about middle school? Didn't you have lockers in middle school?
Yeah. But I feel like after like the first week, all that stuff is like thrown to the wayside.
Wow. You didn't have a mirror in your locker?
Maybe.
I just remember there were so many locker accessory things, but I don't know. I don't think I ever had a photo of anyone in my locker. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't even talked to them and you have a photo of them, I don't know.
Maybe that meant something.
Maybe that meant something. Like maybe it's just something we can't relate to.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you have a picture of someone, that has to mean something.
Yeah.
But so we get to the party in the valley. It's Travis's party, right?
Is it? Yeah. Yeah. I think he's at least there. Travis Birkenstock.
Yes. And he's so sweet right off the bat to Ty, and Cher's basically like, stop.
She's like, get out of here, Travis. Nobody likes you.
Yes. And Ty's like, I like you. Talking like Audrey from
know.
Little Shop of Horrors.
I love a little accent.
She's like, I like you, Travis.
I like you just the way you are. They do. They look. They're kind of cute together. I don't know. They make sense.
They do. We already talked about Suck and Blow. So we get to the scene finally though where Cher is held at gunpoint.
Oh, wait, are we gonna talk about Rolling with the Homies?
Oh yeah. You know,
sorry, I'm like, the most important scene now.
Rolling with the Homies.
Her and Elton's song.
Actually, more important than that at the party, because it's at Christmas time. Dionne's braids with the Christmas colored ribbons. So good. And I love how Murray, like, they shave his head in the bathroom, and Donald Faison keeps just yelling, I'm keeping it real, because I'm keeping it real.
I know. And she's like, what are you doing? I have to look at you. We have yearbook photos.
I'm keeping it real.
And then she's like, I'm calling your mama. He's like, no. It's so silly. Like, the way they fight is just so silly over, like, the silly. You know what I mean? Just
so toxic and so fun. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're my favorite. I know we've talked a lot about just everyone else, but Murray, Dionne, I love them.
Yeah. They're super cute. They're funny. They're like, I mean, they fight, but they're not too crazy.
No, I love them. Well, Rolling with the Homies.
Rolling with the Homies. Oh, yeah. So I guess the song just comes on, right? And then, like, Cher's like, go dance with Elton. And she, like, tries to distract Tyler. I don't know. He offers them, like, weed.
Yes.
And she's like, all right, that's nice. Now get out of here.
Well, after he spills beer
Oh, yeah,
on her satin shoes.
That's what it is.
She's, like, full on raging.
She's like, that's the least you can do. The shoes are ruined. And then, like, what happens? Like, how does Ty hit her? She hurts herself somehow. She hits her head. She falls?
I forget. I know she hits her head on the lamp.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She falls somehow, or she hits her head, or something.
Something happens.
But yeah, why don't I remember?
I feel like I hit my head. I don't.
But yeah, Cher is basically like, Elton, save her.
Yeah.
Like, come in. And
she's like, say something, encourage, or say something. Talk about something that she knows. He's like, what's 7 times 7 or something?
Something that she knows.
I don't know. I guess they fall in love. It's so random. And Rolling with the Homies is playing.
Or she falls in love with him. He doesn't like her.
Right.
Because he likes Cher.
He falls in love with Cher. Somehow he falls in love with Cher during all this.
Yes.
And then he insists on giving her a ride home. If anyone insists on giving you a ride home, don't take it.
Red flag.
Red
Been there,
flag.
girl.
Yeah.
No. But basically because she won't put out, he's like, okay, you can leave. When she's like, I want to get out.
Yeah.
No cell phone.
Mm-mm.
Nothing that Cher has.
Yeah.
But she's out there walking. And then she gets held at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And the first thing she says, she pulls up Carrie Bradshaw.
Yes. And just like that.
And just like that. And she's like, this is a liar. I can't lay down.
I know that scene like really made me think of like Carrie and the Birkin or so, you know what I mean? Like
it's a Fendi.
Or Fendi. Sorry. Sorry, I'm getting it all confused with like all the Sex and the City and just like that I've been watching. It's all
coalescing.
Yeah.
Any other memorable scenes? I love when Christian comes to town.
Yeah, with his like 50s aesthetic.
Yes, and I love the first shade at him because like Cher's convinced that this man boy who's really into like the Rat Pack aesthetic,
yes,
is like meant for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she tries to essentially seduce him and like make him fall in love with her by sending herself flowers and chocolates every day in class, focusing on her mouth,
and
like showing some skin, which as a kid I did take notes. I was this is how you seduce your gay friend. And they'll fall in love with you inevitably. And Dan Hedaya again like checks him really quick when he comes to take her to the party, when he's like, did you think there was an opening when Sammy Davis Jr. died?
that line sent me as well. I was like, oh, the dialogue is so good in this movie.
Truly. And then she comes out in that Calvin Klein dress.
Yeah, and he's like, what are you wearing? Put something on.
It's Calvin Klein. Which is really Anna Sui, as we've talked about before, but that's my favorite outfit. I know people talk about the D&G plaid all the time, but I really love like the slip dress with the delicate little choker, Calvin Klein. Yeah, it's my favorite Cher look.
And the sheer little cover-up jacket that she's wearing.
Yes, it's my favorite. I love when she comes down the steps. I'm like Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
where I'm like, whoo.
No, she looks great coming down the steps. I love a good coming down the steps moment.
Yes.
I think, my favorite look, I think, is when she's like realizing she's in love with Josh. And she has this like, how do I say it? It's like, it's this look. It's a chiffon top and a cropped sweater vest. And it's like layered and you can see her skirt underneath the sheer top.
Love it.
I don't know. It's just such an interesting way to layer. And then she has like those knee-high socks as well and like silver shoes and like a silver bag. I don't know. I just like the aesthetic.
It's very like figure skater chic in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like I always think of figure skaters when I see white and silvers and sheer together.
Yes. I don't know. I want to bring a little white silver sheer moment to real life.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm very into it. Can we talk about the club scene really quick?
Yeah.
So they go to this, I think it's a teen club.
It must be. Do teen clubs even exist? Like, are they all shut down everywhere? Or, because I've never experienced a teen club.
As a teen, I went to a teen club. It was called The Pit. And I had a tie moment where I went to this girl's Sweet 16 and I was looking cute and I fell down the steps. I took a tumble all the way down the steps.
Really?
Just like Ty. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did anyone notice?
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone noticed. But,
Did you still have fun? Did Paul Rudd dance with you?
no, it wasn't like Ty. I basically was like, nah, this night's a wash. And I like went upstairs and I played like foosball with all the dudes.
Nice.
Because I was like, oh, I embarrassed myself. Whatever.
You're like, whatever.
Like a dog with their tail between their legs.
Aw.
But yeah.
At least
I've
you
been
went to a teen club though.
Yeah. Just a bunch of little children freak dancing.
Huh. I wonder what kind of drinks they serve. Like fake, like alcohol. You know, like the virgin margaritas or something.
Sodas.
Just soda.
Or I actually
Pop.
don't remember any drinks at the teen club.
Coke?
Not even Coke.
Man.
But okay, with Christian's rat packedness
Yeah.
mixed with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones being the like band playing,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get in the heads of during the 90s, what was up with this like trend? Because, you know, we got the Gap ads, you know, where they're like snapping and swing dancing and like ska music. It's something about the 90s that confuses me, and I think about it often.
And beatnik looks.
Yeah. And I don't know how ska falls into that, but like
either.
it kind of does. Like, how are the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones a big deal?
I don't know, but I like watching this. It unlocked a bit of a memory. I remember these guys were like around, but I'm not really that into like ska. But I don't know. I know it had its moment.
It did have a moment.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the lyrics to this song, whatever song he was singing, were like, it was just very basic.
It was, I don't know, people were into it. I guess I can understand just hearing like the beat. You know, and it's like bah, 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 bah. It's kind of like it's like the Clueless theme song for the TV show, where you're just like, maybe it is like a fantasy. Like the 90s were such a good time. There was no real like political turmoil. This is pre 9/11. Maybe people were just like living with their main character energy, and that ska music was really just like a theme song.
It's popping off.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting watching the people at the club try to dance to this music as well. Like I think the music itself is kind of like the instruments and all melding together is pretty interesting, but like how do you dance? Like, because there's people who are like jumping up and down.
You got to pogo. You got to dance like you're in the Peanuts.
Yeah, that's basically what it looked like, which in real life kind of looks like a mess. Like, it's cute when the Peanuts do it, but like...
Yeah, no, it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
And maybe like the swing or the Rat Pack, like the big bad voodoo daddies of it all, like in the late 90s, maybe that was just like a fantasy. I'm just thinking about that now.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was like cosplay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like Christian, that character really picks on an aesthetic and is really like, this is my life now.
It is. I love his commitment to the bit.
For real. He's a big Tony Curtis fan too, which is like a pink flag, if you ask me. But I digress.
I don't know who Tony Curtis is, but
he's like he's Jamie Lee Curtis's dad.
Oh.
But he's like, you know, like an old-timey like actor.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Just very gay.
Got it. I mean, you can kind of tell like something there's like this teetering of like wait, is he or isn't he? I don't know. Like I felt like Cher in some moments where I was like, ooh.
She tries to go on that date with Christian and she doesn't know how to cook, so she takes the cookie still in like its burrito shaped form and just slaps it on a baking sheet and puts it in and almost causes a fire. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know, because I feel like I don't think you would actually do that, but like I just think it's like funny. Like,
no, I understand.
I feel like I've seen you come close. Like, probably not just the whole log, but
something very close. I felt called out, but But it's a great touch, and I love how when she tries to seduce him on the bed, watching a Tony Curtis film, she like touches her hair and like tries to,
and she
falls. Yeah,
it's classic.
Such is life. But like that pink outfit, like the little dress with the pinky ready lip.
Yes,
it's a moment. Like even at Cher's lowest, she's still at a fashion high.
I agree.
I do love the touch, like the Mona May touch of, you know, she's character-wise, she's kind of what's the word? Where she's like not, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like this is where like her youthfulness, her naivete, her innocence is coming out. And like before at like the Christmas party, she's wearing red and it's way a different vibe and it's more confident. And the way she wears red in the beginning of the film is like such a different vibe than when she goes on that failed date with Christian. It's like more like a little kid for some, or like she's dressing up.
Yeah. She's trying to impress him.
Yeah, but she's not experienced, and also he's gay.
Yeah,
he's a friend of Dorothy.
Yeah,
you know, he's a disco dancing, Oscar Wilde reading, Streisand ticket holding friend of Dorothy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yep. What a great way to put it. Yeah, I like it. A lot of pizzazz.
I love how Murray's the one to tell her too.
Yeah.
Like when Dionne's driving, where he's like, no, he's gay.
He's gay. Yeah. Murray's the one. It is funny that. And then she's like, wait a minute, you're right. She's like, oh my God, how did I not know this?
You could say she's
clueless. Hey, we all get things wrong sometimes.
For real. I've been there. I was a theater kid, so I've been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Ty becomes popular.
Oh yeah. Then she's like, I created a monster.
Which... Then we get the iconic line to Cher where Ty goes, "You're a virgin who can't drive."
It's really harsh.
It's way harsh, Ty.
Way harsh.
But, yeah.
I don't know. She is kind of bugging, though, because she does get really upset, like, over the whole Josh thing, I think, too. Like, that's really what really takes her over the edge, I think. Because she's like, wait a minute. Why would you want to be with him? Why would he want to be with you or something? I don't know.
She's in love with Josh. She's in love with her brother.
Yeah, because objectively, they are kind of cute. Like, you can kind of see Josh and Ty. You're like, okay, why not? She's like, give me a reason. Ty's like, give me a reason why. Why not?
It's because she's in love with him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting journey she goes on. She soul searches after that. She shops.
She does. Yeah.
So relatable. I feel like anytime I'm going through something, like, really reflecting, I'll shop.
It's a good move. I need to do some shopping. But anything else? Anything? Oh, because at the end, I love how she's like, she ends up with Josh. Spoiler.
I know, spoilers.
She ends up with Josh, and basically, it's like a flash to a wedding, and that's that. A flash to a wedding, and she's like, oh, not mine, I'm only 15.
Yeah.
And it's like Mr. Hall and Miss Geist. I love, if we're talking about looks, Dionne has my favorite look of hers, where in her braids, I love when she puts things in her braids.
Yes.
But she has like the pink, what are they, butterflies? Or are they just like little balls? But they're so cute. They're like, it matches her outfit.
Yeah.
In like the perfect way. And like the perfect 90s, like shimmery frosted makeup. I'm just obsessed with Dionne.
I know. I love the little, like, the details. Like how everything just kind of matches. Like her makeup and her outfit always kind of, like, she just coordinates really well. I don't know.
Well, what Mona May does so well throughout all of her films she costume designs for is she will make a little into a lot. Like, they're always like really small budgets, and she like maximizes just everything. Like even the background actors in this movie, or, you know, H to T.
I love that. Yeah.
And just even with Amber, with her like she like copies Cher's style, but she
Right.
does it in like a tackier way.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's reflected, or just how she kind of looks costumey.
Yes, she does look very costumey.
Like I love the one look where it's like the army green, but then like the puffed leopard on the
Mhm.
collar. It's a good move. Or the Pippi Longstocking look.
The Pippi Longstocking look gets me. I know, I'm trying to think what else.
Can we talk about this one quote from Amy Heckerling? Okay, so she says, "One thing I love in movies is the language. In My Fair Lady, what you say defines everything about you. How much money that you have, where you grew up, everything. I wanted to incorporate that in a goofy way and also mix it up. I wanted white kids to be using words they learned from rap artists, black kids to be speaking Yiddish, a young person talking like he's a rat packer, or a girl whose father is a lawyer using legal terms. We could totally have fun with that."
That is fun. I did notice some like Yiddish in there, and I was like,
Yes.
"Whoa, what?"
I love that this movie plays with all of that. I think it's really unique, because you don't see that in a lot of movies, but I think that's why this movie has really like stood the test of time and stands out.
Yeah,
I like the blend. I love the blend.
I do too. I mean, I feel like that's also like when you're with your friends too. Like you're gonna pick up on each other's like, what's the word? I don't want to say catchphrases.
Like vernacular.
Yeah, just vernacular.
Yeah.
As if.
Whatever,
loser.
Yeah, just like Amber debate. Just
I know. I remember like that was like a thing.
you get the pick.
There's like a whole like, yeah, they don't go into all that, which is
No.
fine. You don't need to.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
I also on a side note love how like Amber's dancing when she gets with Elton, when she's just like,
It's really funky.
she has the best moves of everyone.
She actually does. I was impressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Clueless is one of those films that I would consider a fashion film for sure, but also like a very definitive movie of the 90s. Like when we look back and think about the 90s, Clueless does a great job of encapsulating a lot of different people, whether it's like the grunge stoner dudes all the way to like Paul Rudd, being like intellectual, wanting to save the planet,
Yeah.
to like the
He's
kids going to the mall.
Yeah. I love how he's like concerned about real things.
Yeah. Well, like she wants to watch Beavis and Butthead, Cher, and like he wants to watch CNN.
Relatable.
Yes. But like I feel like when I think about the 90s, the way Clueless portrays the 90s as like this eclectic, like funky place is just how I think of it in retrospect. So I think that's it's cool that a movie can do that, and how Amy Heckerling was just like, it wasn't like conscious, like she wasn't like, I'm gonna make the definitive movie of the 90s.
Right.
It was just her take on Emma. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. No, I think so too. It really does encapsulate the 90s. Like, I don't know. I love it. I love going back and watching it, and it's like such a safe place to be. I don't know.
Why do you think this movie is still being referenced today? Like, why is this such a millennial movie, and why is Gen Z obsessed with it as well? Why are we so obsessed with Clueless?
Not to use this word again, but I think it's seminal. Probably for a lot of people. Like when you discover this movie, even if it's later in life, like you can just see like the influence it's had, like fashion wise, or just, I think the vernacular too is like saying whatever, or like just like little things like
this actually, like people saying as if this was the movie.
Yeah. And the fashion slaps. Like if you care about fashion at all, I think you're gonna be into it.
I mean, Mona May, Mona May did the costumes for Clueless, including the TV show, Rami and Michelle's high school reunion,
Yes.
The Wedding Singer, A Night at the Roxbury, Never Been Kissed, Xenon the Sequel, Stuart Little 2, Haunted Mansion, Stuck in the Suburbs, Enchanted, Cheetah Girls One World, The House Bunny, The Wizards of Waverly Place movie, Camp Rock 2.
That makes sense.
Lemonade Mouth.
Oh my god, that makes sense.
But you know what else she did the costumes for?
What?
The Master of Disguise.
Yes! I knew it.
It always goes back to the Master of Disguise.
Dana Carvey.
Yes.
I will say, like, if you look at her, like, her work throughout all her movies, she does seem to play a lot with color. Like, bright, eye-catching colors.
She's like the Fran Fine of costume design.
Yes.
Like, she's not afraid of mixing high and low.
Mm-mm.
She knows her designers, but she's also, like, can make the clothes.
Yes.
Loves color. Yeah, she's the Fran Fine of costume designers.
Period.
Yeah, anything else about Clueless?
I don't know. I think it's just really awesome, like, the impact that this movie's had, and I think we'll continue to have. I think it's just one of those that will just has, like, a legacy that just never dies.
It's classic.
Yeah, it's classic. I'm still waiting on the technology for, like, the outfit picker, but
yeah, well, one day
maybe someone will listen and be like, you know what, they're right. We need to get on this.
Less AI, more outfit selectors.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah, leave us a rating and review on iTunes.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.